Hello everyone, good evening. The World Cup has safely flown off to Australia, and here in India, one controversy after another is taking wings. Have you seen the video of Prime Minister Modi dropping in on the boys in the dressing room and consoling them after their defeat? If you haven't, I will show it to you in the next 20 seconds or so. Now, that video has sparked a massive political debate with Team India, the political Team India, taking umbrage at the Prime Minister's lack of respect for Rohit Sharma and his team. I will tell you what exactly their problem is with the Prime Minister's pep talk. Before that, see the video.
आप लोग पूरा 10-10 गेम जीत के आए हो, ये तो होता रहता है। दूसरा ये भाई, देश आप लोगों को देख रहा है। मैंने सोचा मिल लूँ को सबको। होता है। कहाँ रहो? कहते हैं आप लोग मेहनत बहुत की है, लेकिन कहाँ बाबू ढीलो ना पड़ दो। हमें बहुत अच्छा किया है इस बार। तू तो गुजराती बोलते हो इसने थोड़ा तर तो घर से सो आप लोग बहुत अच्छी मेहनत की है और चलिए होता है। होता रहता है ऐसा। हाँ, और साथियों को एक दूसरे को जरा हौसला बुलंद करते चलिए। और जब आप लोग फ्री हो गए कभी दिल्ली आएंगे तो बैठूंगा आप लोगों के साथ। मेरी तरफ से निमंत्रण है आप सबको।
And as soon as that video was released by the PMO, all hell broke loose. The opposition said Rohit and the boys, fresh from defeat, needed time to collect their emotions. Instead, here was the Prime Minister walking in with cameras and intruding in their moment of grief. Things escalated from there on, and Rahul Gandhi at an election rally ended up calling the Prime Minister a panoti, essentially playing into that chatter that had the Prime Minister not come to Ahmedabad, Team India would have actually won the World Cup.
याद है? हाँ क्या? पनौती 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 वो अच्छा भला वहां पे अच्छा भला हमारे लड़के वहां पे वर्ल्ड कप जीत जाते, वो वहां पे पनौती हरवा दिया। टीवी वाले ये नहीं कहेंगे, टीवी वाले ये नहीं कहेंगे, मगर जनता जानती है।
There was more to come. Shiv Sena MP Priyanka Chaturvedi raised concerns about the discomfort felt by the cricketers, both in dealing with the defeat and the added pressure of the cameras accompanying the Prime Minister. The Congress's Jairam Ramesh called it choreographed consolation by the master of drama in India. His words, not mine. And then there was former cricketer and TMC leader Kirti Azad, who will be joining us for a quick chat. He has said in his tweet that the sanctity of the dressing room has been trampled upon. In fact, let me go to Kirti Azad, who is joining us on the broadcast. Mr. Azad, thank you very much. Can I ask you what has upset you about this video? For someone looking from the outside, and here I was looking at the video, and I thought it was quite endearing for the Prime Minister to walk into the dressing room and tell the boys, it's okay, hota hai. Defeat hoti hai, it's perfectly fine. What was the problem in that?
First of all, I must tell you, I am a sportsman at heart and a politician by choice, and I speak as a cricketer. You should know the rules of the game before really stepping into somebody's territory. The ICC stipulates that nobody apart from the players or the playing staff, the support staff can go into the dressing room. Even families are not allowed. Even Sachin Tendulkar, Kapil Dev, who was not called at all, NMS Dhoni, none of them are allowed to go into the dressing room. There are visiting rooms outside the dressing room where you can meet. Now, I'll tell you what the situation in the dressing room is. That is where you plan. That is where you postmortem after a loss. You are roaming around naked in your room. There are emotions flaring up. Some are angry, some are sad, some are crying. Situation as such is going on. And I remember in 99-2000 when the match fixing episode had come up, I was the one who raised it in Parliament, and after that ICC made a rule that nobody apart from the players or the supporting staff can go into the dressing room. The Honourable Prime Minister meeting, most welcome, really very happy about it. But he could have easily met in a nice private visiting room, which are VIP rooms where he could call the team, he could have called the team and met them there. You go there, can anybody go into a Prime Minister's house or to his office without an appointment or take a last minute appointment? Even if he does, he has to leave his mobile phone outside. He cannot take any video camera in. So I suppose you are the Prime Minister of India, no doubt. I have great pride and I feel very happy that you went and met the players, but not there. Nobody can come into your office. So you should also manage the rules. You can't go in just because you're the Prime Minister of the country. Rules are the same, whether it's a normal average laborer or the Prime Minister of India. So this is one thing as a player, I definitely detest that he shouldn't have done.
So, Mr. Azad, can I then ask you, the question will be asked if Team India didn't have a problem with the Prime Minister walking in with his cameras, coming to the dressing room, giving shabashi to the boys, hugging a couple of them, consoling many of them. If the team didn't have a problem with it, why does Team India, the political one, have a problem with it? Because I've seen Virat Kohli's tweet. It came some 5 hours ago after the controversy was blowing up, and he actually thanked the Prime Minister for the gesture. If they don't have a problem, why do you, is the question.
Well, I'm sorry, I'll have to give a political answer to it, which I don't want to. Everybody knows what's going on in the country. Who's the secretary of the BCCI? Mr. Jai Shah. He should have known the rules of the ICC. If somebody is happy, 5 of us decide, oh, we should go and murder that fellow, and all of us agree and we murder him, so it's okay. I mean, I don't understand what kind of logic this is. He is the ICC. His father, who is the Home Minister, a cabinet minister in Mrs. Narendra Modi's cabinet, is standing there. You can't break the rules. Ignorance of law is no excuse. He wants to go and do it. Yes, very nice. I'm very happy. I mean, if he had not gone there, they wouldn't have gotten mentally deranged if the Prime Minister hadn't visited. All I'm saying, if he has to visit, not in the dressing room. Please maintain the decorum of the game. It's known as a gentleman's game. You could have easily called them to a VIP room, which is adjacent to the dressing room, and follow the rules of the ICC. If the Prime Minister of our country is going to break it, obviously, what will the players say? No, we're not going to meet them. Do they want to get dropped in the next match or the next series? Come on, let's be a little bit more, have empathy towards the players and think about it. Nobody will say, no, please don't come to the dressing room. So what I mean to say is that the sanctity should be maintained. It's a game. For me, it's religion. It's a sanctum sanctorium. Cricket gave me everything. It gave me name, fame, money, all that I could, all I want. If people know me because of my cricket, not because of me being a parliamentarian. And that is there, that's a temple. That entire stadium, the ground in the center, that dressing room is my private place. The Prime Minister's house and Prime Minister's office is his private place. Hence, we should respect that.
Okay, so you spoke about cricket being a gentleman's game. Do you find anything gentlemanly about the remarks that are being made about the Prime Minister? Rahul Gandhi today has called the Prime Minister Panoti to say that, had he not shown up at the Narendra Modi Stadium on D-Day, India would have probably won the match. Do you buy into that chatter, or do you think it's completely unnecessary? Because your hashtag, one of your hashtags was Panoti as well.
I speak as a sportsman. Because Panoti is something that has stuck with him, and it is what the people feel. Lakhs and crores of people on social media are doing it. They did it when the Chandrayaan failed and he was sitting there. And when Chandrayaan succeeded, it was half on the screen as if he had done it and scientists had no role to play. So what I am trying to say is, don't pull this into politics. One, the Prime Minister should know the rules of the game. You should know what the ICC has stipulated. If it didn't know, at least Jai Shah should have had the courage. If he didn't, he should have told his father, the Home Minister, that please don't go into the dressing room. I'll call the players outside. At least that sanctity should be maintained.
Okay, well, how do you respond to what the BJP is saying? My last question. The BJP says this is the true hallmark of a leader, that the leader is with you not just in your moments of victory, but even in your moments of defeat. And that is what the Prime Minister was doing with the boys when they had just lost something very, very significant, to show them and everyone else that the country stands with the team.
No, you mean to say the country was not with them. It's because of he went there, that is why the country is with him. We have seen with cameras in Sanctum Sanctorium at Kedarnath, at Badrinath, where nobody can go. I am a Hindu. I come from Sita Ma's Janamsthana, I'm Bhagwan Ram ke sasural wala, and I follow my religion like nobody else does. I mean, I feel really bad when I see those cameras inside the Sanctum Sanctorium, when nobody except the Pujari can go in. I mean, taking cameras everywhere, if you have to console, there are ways of doing it rather than making it public. Just imagine if India had won the game, what would have happened? So at least you come, you love the game, you love the players, keep it private. That dressing room is private. There are people's stuff lying around. It's a very private place. Do it outside the room. Who's saying no, don't meet them? Meet them, but not in that dressing room, which is the Sanctum Sanctorium. At least maintain what the ICC has laid down, the rules, the laws of the business. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else. BJP is making a big issue out of it. And when you talk about Panoti, what about Jersey guy? What about 50 crore ki girlfriend? Then so many things politically will come it. So let's not get politics involved into it. Let's see to it that even the Prime Minister follows the rules, the laws of ICC, what they have laid down, that you cannot go into the dressing room.
Okay, Mr. Azad, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much for this very quick chat. Good to have you here on Mirror Up. Thank you very much. We continue with the debate, of course. Sanjay Jha with us on the broadcast. Ranjit Bajaj with us on the broadcast as well. He is owner of the Minreva Punjab FC. Thank you very much. Ranjit, I think I'm going to start with you. You've heard what Kirti Azad is saying. His contention is, I don't have a problem the Prime Minister meeting the boys after their defeat, but don't trample upon the sanctity of the Sanctum Sanctorum for these cricketers, which is the dressing room. There was no need for you to enter the dressing room with 3 cameras in tow. You could have simply called them out, once they had taken control of their emotions, and then perhaps met them privately. Ranjit Bajaj, is that something you agree with? Or do you think this is bawal over nothing?
I now think it's actually blowing it out of proportion. Thank you so much for having me first. Why? Because I totally would have agreed with Kirti sir when he said, and I've been the manager of the Indian cricket team for 21 one-days as well in the past. So I know what he's saying when the ICC has rules that you cannot allow anyone else other than the ones allowed in the dressing room, but that is still the match is played. As you can clearly see, the match was totally over. And trust me, this was done. It was not that he just dropped in unannounced. Like he was saying, things are lying unannounced. There, people obviously have told the captain that the Prime Minister would like to see you and he's going to be coming, or is it okay? And obviously the captain and the coach has given the go-ahead, and that's why it's happened. He's not just barged into the dressing room like that, okay? You don't do that, and doesn't matter who you are, and that's not the way it's happened. And it's not the first time it's happened. In fact, I remember the 2000 when there was a World Cup here in Mohali, Punjab, and there are a lot of politicians from the chief ministers and the Prime Minister, in fact, was there at that time, Manmohan Singh, and they all, because the India-Pakistan match, they were all coming down in the dressing room. So, see, I would have had a problem if probably the Prime Minister would have not gone. Why? Because I look at it a little bit differently. See, everybody wants to be with the team and share the dais and have photographs with them when they've just won the World Cup, being champions of India. I mean, I would love to do that as well. Real leaders actually show up when you are defeated. And the best time to do it, I mean, looking at this, is the time when it's just happened. Okay, that's when they need the boost up. There's no bigger boost up. I mean, me talking as a sports person myself, if after I've lost the World Cup for my country, and even though I played excellent, the Prime Minister of the country comes and tells me that it's perfectly fine. I mean, you can ask any of the players. See, if you ask any of the players, they will tell you how much it meant to them. That just meant that the entire country was, is behind you, because the Prime Minister just come and told you that. So it's a huge motivation, and not only for this team, you don't realize what this does. All the little kids who are watching at home, they've seen this video and they see that, oh my God, the Prime Minister cares so much for a sport. That means you win or you lose, you get hugs from the Prime Minister. He's the one who comes and consoles you. So that means it matters so much to the country. So it's a way of showing how much it matters to us, and it matters to each and every Indian. Then when we lost this match, it's not only BJP or Congress, everyone was hurt about it.
Sanjay Jha, many people have looked at the video, and I have looked at the video as well. And to me, it was almost paternal. That koi baat nahi, you have lost, you have failed, but that's okay. I'm here, and as someone who leads this country, as someone who's older to you, I'm patting your back and saying koi baat nahi. Hota hai. Let me give you a hug. Let me crack a little joke to ease the tension in the room.
Very paternal.
Just a minute, Ranjit. A pat on the back. Yeah, exactly. Even I thought it was paternal, which is why I'm surprised at all the halabaloo we are seeing over the video. Just take a look at these pictures. Fairly endearing, Sanjay Jha. And someone like Ranjit is saying, I would have had a problem had the Prime Minister not gone. It would have meant that the Prime Minister doesn't care. Team haar gayi, chalo. You don't want to be photographed with a team that has been defeated.
Okay, Shreya, let me answer you in brief. The gentleman before me, Mr. Bajaj, talked about what the real leaders do. I'll tell you what the real leaders do. The real leaders don't take photo ops with women champion wrestlers of India who bring glory to India in a very competitive sport, more international than cricket, by the way. And then when they come home and they go through the miserable experience, Mr. Bajaj, of being sexually harassed by a BJP leader, the real leaders go and meet the women and sort out the problem and take appropriate action. Real leaders, Mr. Bajaj, don't go into hibernation. Don't try and delay and basically end up actually humiliating the women wrestlers themselves. That's what real leaders do. That's what leaders who care for sports do. Let me give you another example, Shreya. Real leaders, when they find that a Mohammad Shami has been trolled after the T20 match that was lost in Dubai, where India lost to Pakistan by 10 wickets, they actually know that there is something wrong because it was India's right-wing ecosystem that really took on Mohammad Shami. The real leaders would come and make a comment, and Rahul Gandhi did that then. And I'm glad Rahul Gandhi did that. Many of us, by the way, stood up in support of Mohammad Shami. Point number 3, very relevant as well. End of day, here you have a situation in our country, Shreya, that the stadium is called Narendra Modi. No problem. Every politician has got a right to name a monument after him. At a moment of loss, did you hear what Rahul Dravid said? Rahul Dravid said, if you saw the dressing room, you would be devastated. You know what this is reminding me of? It reminds me of a family or somebody in a moment of loss or grief, and the neighbor comes, gate crashes into it with cameras on. If Narendra Modi as Prime Minister wanted to really console the players, did you have to go through these theatrics? Have you seen the camera moving and swirling all over the place to capture it the way it has been? And guess what the BJP does today? They actually put it out to make it into a statement on his political leadership, because the reality is, you know what kind of a political leadership we have, Shreya? I want to debunk people like Mr. Bajaj, and I want to do so because I think the time for pussyfooting around and listening to some crappy rhetoric is over. I'll give you an example. Kapil Dev, I remember in 1983 where I was, how proudly I took off on my Speed King bicycle in the night when India surprised the West Indies to win that match in 1983. Kapil Dev, and I want Mr. Bajaj to answer this question. Kapil Dev is not invited for the World Cup final. He's on record to say that. I'm not saying it. Kapil Dev, the captain of the 1983 World Cup team, when it did not have the hype and the hoopla, won the match against the West Indies, is not invited for the World Cup final. Why? Because he supported the women wrestlers' case against a BJP MP. What kind of a shame is this? What kind of a disgrace is this?
Mr. Jha, here's the point. I didn't see Mahendra Singh Dhoni in the crowd either. So
Ma'am,
that I think is a controversy that was created because
Shreya.
of too much data and too much free
Ma'am.
time. Ranjit Bajaj, I have
Shreya.
20 seconds. I have 20 seconds.
Shreya, I have no
Ranjit Bajaj.
idea why
हाँ,
Dhoni did
बोलिए.
not go.
Yes, Mr. Jha.
But Kapil
Ma'am,
Dev said he was not invited.
Mr. Jha has made a comment that, it's like gate crashing, a neighbor gate crashing your party. No, it's not a neighbor gate crashing our party. It's the Prime Minister of our country coming to console his oone warriors who have just lost a battle.
My friend.
That is what our Prime Minister did. So that is the time. The real leader cannot go and be defending against Shami's trolls. He is not a social media influencer. A real leader stands up in these moments, and I really think, as a sportsperson myself, I would have loved it if I would have had an opportunity like this, where the Prime Minister has come and done this, because next time I'll make sure that, like he said, the Chandrayaan failed. The next time the people were motivated because this man was there and he hugged that scientist when he was crying, and that scientist wanted to make him proud, and he made sure that the chief of ISRO next time gave him a big smile and made sure that the next mission was success. And I'm sure India will win the World Cup the next time. I'm guarantee it.
There is one video, and there are, don't get the Panoti thing. I thought that was completely unnecessary. I mean, that Panoti chatter is completely unnecessary, Sanjay Jha. Agree with me there. I have 10 seconds. I will let you comment on that for 10 seconds.
No, I do. I think
all of us.
Yeah. I'll agree with you. Jokes aside, the Prime Minister has every right to attend the sports match. No problem at all. The Prime Minister must learn to respect the women wrestlers. He must try and look at the Manipur, where he never went because there were no TV cameras. He never went to Uttarakhand because there are no TV cameras. But he goes because he has to milk it. He's in Ahmedabad, right? He has to make some statement. So he has to milk it when the players are actually devastated. And that is the tragedy of Indian politics.
Okay, one video and 2 points of views. We've heard from both of them over the last 20 minutes. Sanjay Dutt, thank you very much for your time. Ranjit Bajaj, thank you very much for your time as well. Let's move on.